welcome to Wednesday. How are you, Chris?
I am beyond average. What's going on?
That's it. Well, I'm giving this show. Well, that's good, I guess. That's better than below average.
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm going to give this show about 35 to 45 seconds before it's over.
Oh, because of the wind and shit?
Because it's 60-mile-an-hour winds outside. I see, we live, like, my window actually faces a forest, if you will.
Okay.
Like, it's nothing but trees behind me.
Nice.
And like walking paths, which I'll get into in a minute, but the trees are blowing like crazy, dude. Like, what little leaves we had are gone, and it's nasty out there.
Yeah, dude, it's funny. We had like a really bad about 30 minutes where it was almost a whiteout outside where you couldn't see because it was raining so hard.
Right.
And then it all stopped. And so my son comes in. He's like, I'm gonna go get the mail, and he's looking for his hoodie. I was like, you don't need a hoodie. I was like, it's 60 degrees out there. He went out there and damn near froze. He come back yelling at me.
Really?
He's like, that wind is cold.
See, I got home from work and like it was still kind of warm outside, so I don't know what it's like out there now. But it was warm when I got home. But yeah, it looks cold and dreary, and it's sure as hell windy out there. So I give my internet to last about another minute or two.
Well, let's hope we can get through the show because we got a lot of topics to talk about. And then
the snow is headed our way supposedly. Now get this fucking forecast I heard the other day.
Yeah.
So the Channel 3 guy goes, "Yeah, I just wanted to let you know that the end of the week is looking pretty tricky. We got some areas that could see a foot of snow."
Oh,
I'm like, a foot of snow? Holy shit! And then I hear another forecast on my way into work, and it says, "Yeah, we're looking at trace to an inch around the area." And it probably won't stick because it's still warm outside. And I'm saying, what the hell are we going to get? A foot or are we going to get an inch? I mean, that's what my wife asks all the time. But
yeah. And unfortunately, she always gets the inch.
Gets the inch. Oh, God. So we live in these woods, right? Well, it's not.
Yeah.
The front of the house faces, normal cul-de-sac, whatever. But the back of the house is like all woods.
Sure.
And so I don't walk the paths in back because of my leg and stuff. So I don't normally go back there. But I know there's a walking path that goes right by and could see like our patio and everything else. And then I realized like last night that it's now dark out at like 5, 6 o'clock at night.
Right.
And I have like these French doors, that go to the patio that then goes to the outside back into the woods. And I realized that when it gets dark, people can now see if they're walking on these paths right into my house.
Right.
So, I mean, there are times where, you want to be comfortable in your own home, dude. So, I get butt naked. I'm sprawling out on the wheelchair a little bit, getting dressed and changed, whatever I'm doing, and I'm comfy. So maybe I don't take like 3 seconds to get changed. It's a little difficult. And so I made pause for a minute watching TV and stuff. Now I realize that every person that's walking on the path is staring at my big, fat, naked, handicapped body laying there on a wheelchair trying to get dressed as they're walking through the woods.
Dude, Mike Tyson made it okay to do that last week.
I guess.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but he got paid $20 million to have his ass be a meme. When my ass is a meme on some social media site, I'm going to be awfully pissed that I'm not getting $20 million for it.
Well, if you get your ass out there as a meme, we'll put it up for $20 on mines.
Still don't have $20 for mines.
See, this is an interesting question, Seth.
Well, I mean, of course.
Not yourself.
Well, not myself. Then no. Look, to be honest with you, the chair is not exactly the sturdiest of wheelchairs.
Sure.
I don't think the one that I got was from a good friend, and I don't think it was. I think it was meant for his mom back in the day. So it's not exactly the sturdiest thing for a man of my girth, if you will.
Plus, it has arms on it too, right?
No, I took the arms off.
Oh, you took the... Okay, well, there you go. Then you should be able to fuck.
I can spread out a little bit, so I can, I can roll out, and I can do a little good in that chair. It's not bad.
You can get a handy lap dance.
Absolutely. I mean, there's plenty of benefits to having it.
Yeah, is that what that would be called? A handy lap dance?
Yeah, a handy dance.
Well, we're off and running.
Oh, we are.
So we got things to talk about, dude. We do have Dog Pound Details, which we can get to in a little bit. I have not listened to it yet. John sent it to me literally 10 minutes before showtime. So
Of course he did, because he's a lazy bastard, just like those Cavaliers who lost last night.
Well, at least he did it. Unlike the Cavs, who just, I don't know, did they show up? Did they play?
Yeah, no, they played hard. I mean, they were down by 17 at one point, but then they ended up making a real game out of it, but they still lost to them. All good things must come to an end, kind of like John and his Browns and his career.
Nice. Well, I have to share with you, dude. I don't know if you're aware of this, and I don't know if the fans are aware of this yet, but do you realize that our Minds channel is just taking off?
I don't realize that. I don't. Is it taking off and like going somewhere where I don't see the money? It's taking off somewhere.
It is. It's exploding. We have thousands of subscribers. I don't know if you're aware of this.
I'm not aware. Please
you.
inform.
Well, I'll get you your money. I finally found the money, and it's in my account. There's thousands of dollars there. And I was thinking, and tell me if I'm wrong on this. You like cars, right?
I do like cars.
Would you like to get, if there's enough here to get you a Jaguar, would you want one?
Absolutely, no question.
Absolutely, huh?
Yep.
Want to see if I could change your mind in under a minute?
There's no way that you could change my mind. I've always wanted a Jaguar, a nice luxury car, beautiful car. I'm ready.
Let's see if I can't do it in 1 minute. Because here is the new brand strategy for Jaguar.
Well, all right.
And at Jaguar, we are passionate about our people, and we're committed to fostering a diverse, inclusive, and unified culture that is representative not only of the people who use our products, but in a society in which we all live, a culture where our employees can bring their authentic selves to work.
See?
And we're on a transformative journey of our own, driven by a belief in diversity, inclusion, creativity, policy, and most importantly, action. We've established over 15 DEI groups, such as
15.
Pride, who are here tonight in the back. Thank you guys for coming. Women in Engineering and Neurodiversity Matters. We've launched major policy revisions, such as transitioning at work, to drive equity and support for our communities, embracing individuality as our superpower.
It's their superpower over at Jaguar.
All right, so I will now be driving anything but a Jaguar, or like he likes to call it, a Jaguar.
Or the Faguar, as I've been calling it.
I will pass on that car from this point forward.
I told you it would only take a minute.
I'm telling you, though, I think once Trump is in office, you're going to see a lot of this DEI bullshit go away.
Well, you would have thought, I would have thought, that you might see it now starting to go away. Apparently not.
I think in a lot of places it is.
It definitely is, but dude, how?
But I don't understand it. I really don't.
Forget all the DEI bullshit, which is enough to never buy another Jag product again. How do you come out and say, and he said this exactly, we're not going to build our strategy around the people that use our product, but around the people that see our product. He said that. He literally said, we're not going to build our product around the people that use the product. What the hell?
That's a good marketing strategy right there. Maybe it's reverse psychology. He's trying to say that if we're not going to market it towards you, then you'll actually buy it. Yeah. Save gas, ride the handicapped. Amen.
Oh, my God, man. Oh my God. I saw this and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I thought we were done with the woke shit.
But see, I think we are. I mean, like, one of the reasons why, Pete Hegseth, the guy that is going to be the Secretary of Defense for Trump's cabinet. I mean, the guy is a 20-year military veteran, dude. Mm-hmm. And, people like Matthew and other liberals will say, oh, he's just a Fox News host on the weekends and stuff like that. He's got 2 Bronze Stars. He's been in combat and everything else. So he knows everything that he needs to know to do the job that he's being asked to do. But one woman from the NAACP, I believe it was, called him a racist. Why? You know why he's called a racist? Because he doesn't want DEI in the military. He believes that merit should be involved when it comes to the military.
Wow, what a concept.
So, people that aren't qualified to hold the gun and go after the enemy shouldn't be holding a gun going after the enemy. And, whether you're white, black, Hispanic, whatever it is, it should be based on merit, not on your color or your sexual preference.
Let me just share a common sense thought from somebody that actually served in the military.
Yeah.
So you can take this for whatever it's worth. It's not an expert opinion. It's just my opinion. If I was passed over for a promotion that I was clearly better than the other person at, and it came down to saving their life or mine, I'm saving mine. I'm not sacrificing myself when I've been shit on. I'm not giving the ultimate sacrifice to an organization that doesn't treat me with the ultimate respect for the service I give. And that was always the military way when I was in the service. Now, admittedly, that was 1,005 years ago, but when I was in the service, that was a big part of it. Was you didn't only bust your ass to be the best, you busted your ass to be in charge, to move up, to not have to do the shitty duty.
Exactly.
If I'm going to bust my ass, I'm going to be told, well, you're not black or female or sucking dick, so you're at the back of the line. Right. No, I'm not going to take a bullet. No, I'll let the DEI hire take the bullet for me. I'll hide under their corpse.
What I love right now is that people on the left, I saw a couple of these things on Facebook today, are making fun of Trump's cabinet and saying that his picks are ridiculous, this, that, and the other thing. I know there's pictures out there. Maybe you can find them, maybe not. It doesn't matter. There's pictures of Biden's cabinet, the people that he put in charge of certain things, like the trans, whatever she was. I don't even know what she did. Levine, what her name? Rachel, whatever.
Rachel Levine, yeah.
Yeah. So that's okay. But Pete Hegseth is wrong for the job.
Oh,
that bald guy who stole shit like baggages from airplanes and stuff like that. That guy's okay. The bald gay guy who wore dresses and everything else. That guy's all right. Pete Hegseth is bad. Okay.
This is an honorable right here.
Yeah, there we go. Look at this group of people. Okay. That's honorable. All right. But Trump's picks are bad. All of those people were picked for a certain reason, and it's not because of the job that they did. It's not because of their fucking qualifications, Matthew.
It's all for ability to take a dick in the asshole.
Yes. Well, I don't think.
I don't think
Jean-Pierre likes to dick in the asshole.
Yeah, I don't think bottom left is, maybe another woman's tongue or something.
But I mean, look, this is what Biden did, and not because of their qualifications, nothing merit-based here, including, I don't know, the vice president of the United States that he did not pick on qualifications, was not merit-based, was completely unliked by the entire American population, which was proven in this latest election. So don't give me shit about Donald Trump's picks for cabinet when you have this that Joe Biden did.
Yeah, it's horrible.
So, I mean,
this one here is the worst. What is this?
Which one?
The bottom in the green.
Oh yeah, that's the one that got arrested for like stealing shit. Or how about the guys that were having sex in the Capitol building? Come on, Biden's group of folks wasn't exactly stellar here.
Yeah,
I have more confidence in Linda McMahon being the Secretary of Education than I do any of Biden's picks.
I just don't listen to it. I can't be bothered by the losing team telling me how the winning team is still losing. Well, sorry, can't hear it.
That's what really bothers me is I find myself arguing more now again on Facebook and stuff and Twitter, because all it is these whining little bitches complaining and moaning, griping, blah 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 blah. How could he pick this person? How could he pick that person? I mean, we just showed you 4 examples in like 30 seconds of the junk that Biden put in office, and you're going to complain about Trump? Go fuck yourself for the next 4 years, Matthew.
Why don't you just take 4 years? Why don't you just go over to the tranquility of Blue Sky?
I did, and I've been having some fun over at Blue Sky. I think,
of course you have.
I think you liked one of my posts today.
I did.
I think I said something to the. I know I commented to Bob because Bob now joined Blue Sky.
What's his name on Blue Sky?
Nightmare 1420. And Blue Sky's great. Like Mark Cuban started like on Blue Sky the other day, and he said something to the effect of, "Yeah, now we have somewhere to go where there's no trolling." Blah blah blah. So the first thing I fucking did when I saw this post was troll the shit out of that guy.
You haven't been banned yet?
I have not been banned, even though one of my posts was, "Oh, I was certainly enjoying the blue skies today and the red waves." And then I said, "Remember the science when it comes to genders."
Well, Rob Reiner's over there. I guess he didn't light himself on fire.
Well, I'm sad about that. Then the blue sky would be a little bit cloudy with the smoke of his frying ass.
Be a blue haze. Look, and he's already whining. Look at yesterday, this fucking tool bag. I got a feeling Blue Sky's going to become a part of this show. Just laughing on these idiots over on Blue Sky. Look at this. All the abuse and hate from Twitter has now spewed over to here. There seems to be no point anymore.
Already? Wow.
Who spews more hate than this fucking tool bag? Rob Reiner has, seriously, in the last 4 years of Twitter, has there been anyone more hateful than Rob Reiner?
No. He's one of the most hateful people of all time.
It would be him, Keith Olbermann, Rosie.
Yeah, is Olbermann on
Streisand.
Is Olbermann on Blue Sky yet?
Oh, I don't know.
Seth, can you address the pedophile nominated for AG? For real, I want to hear your opinion. I think Matt Gaetz is a shit stirrer. I think that he will be the absolute best AG and will absolutely destroy the Department of Justice, and I think that that's what's needed. Do I think he's a pedophile? I don't know. I think that the report was that he had sex with a 17-year-old, but nothing has actually come out. He hasn't been convicted of anything. In fact, I think it was being tossed out. The ethics committee has not yet released any kind of report on it to anybody, so we have no information on it. If he's not the right guy, then he's not the right guy.
And if it comes out that it was a 12-year-old or whatever, he won't be the guy.
He won't be, and he shouldn't be.
Yeah. I mean, that's...
I don't know what you want me to say about that. I've also said that if Trump is not the right guy and fucks everything up, then I'll be on here saying the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, first of all, he's not the guy yet. He's just a name that's been floated out. Has Trump officially said it, that it's going to be Gaetz?
Well, I mean, he has to get approved by the Senate.
Well, I know, but has he officially put him up there, or is it just media spin at this point?
No, he has.
Okay, so then, but he's not the guy yet. He's just...
No.
It's just like when they name a judge, and then it has to go through 3 or 4 weeks of committee or whatever.
Nobody's approved anything yet.
So it doesn't matter. It's just a name.
So what's over? Is that?
Oh, yeah, there he is.
Oh, he's already on
Olbermann.bluesky.social.
I'm going to follow that fucking guy.
Oh, yeah, let me follow that one, too.
Because I'm going to be trolling him by 6:05 tonight.
And post number 1, Joe Scared Bro keeps digging. So the left are eating their own over here on Blue Sky.
Is he giving Mika and Joe some shit?
Yeah, of course.
That whole thing was weird, man, because Mika and Joe, or Trump said, hey, this meeting was great. We had a great time and blah, 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 blah. And then Mika and Joe go on TV saying, we told him how we disagree vehemently with all of his picks and this, that.
And then Trump fired right back. Nah, he came to me like a crying dog.
What's Olbermann bitching about The Simpsons for?
Honest to God, I'm surprised Vicky MSNBC hasn't named a few new morning hosts already. Those cringing, coward quislings, Joe Scarborough and Mika, are done in this business.
Dude, I guarantee you.
Who's more done in this business than Keith Olbermann?
Yeah, I know. I guarantee you, if Keith Olbermann picked up his phone one day and it was Donald Trump at the other end saying, hey, man, why don't you come out to Mar-a-Lago? Let's have a talk. That fucking guy would be on the first fucking plane to get there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mouth open to take the cock. He's a poser and a half. He's a total poser.
Yeah, he's ridiculous.
But he's built his little army of minions based on being a right-leaning hater. So, so he has to play to his base now.
What does he do other than post on social media?
I think he has a podcast, maybe. Yeah. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it says at the top of his thing. The sportscaster you loved, the newscaster you humored, the dog lover you grudgingly admired. Now all of the above in a podcast. So he does a fucking podcast. He ain't no better than me or you.
Yeah, but he probably makes money doing it.
So what? That doesn't make his opinions mean anything.
No, but it's really sad because I kind of enjoyed that guy when he did, sports. I mean, I thought he was kind of entertaining. Now he's just a fucking loser and a half, man.
Well, they just replaced him with another douchebag with glasses. That Scott, whatever his name is, Scott Van Pelt.
Yeah, I don't like any of those people. ESPN to me is a joke anymore.
Yeah, I can't watch it. I a lot of times I'll turn on like the Monday Night Football and I'll turn on for like 5 minutes and I'm like, fuck this. I can't deal with it.
Yeah.
Because I honestly don't like Joe Buck and Troy Aikman either. So.
And I like watching highlights of games. I do. I enjoy watching highlights, but it's just so bad.
Follow the leagues on Twitter. That's really, or follow, if you really just want sports highlights, just follow Bleacher Report. Bleacher Report's a good one. You get the highlights. That's all you want. Or Stadium Sports. That's all just video highlights. There's ways around it now. You don't need fucking ESPN.
Yeah, but I don't like to search on the internet. I just want to sit
well, you don't have to
if you
follow them, or if you use lists or something on Twitter. Make a list. Sports highlights.
Wait a second.
Put in the people that you want, and that's it.
Left-wing media is small compared to the right?
What?
All right. I mean, there's some things I can take you seriously on, and there's others I just have to laugh at you.
All the media except for half of Fox is left-leaning.
Right. Okay, maybe what...
the alternative media is right-leaning.
I don't know, but certainly not any kind of mainstream media.
Well, let's just name them off. CBS.
Left.
ABC.
Extreme left.
NBC.
Extreme left.
MSNBC.
Extreme left.
CNN.
Extreme left.
Fox.
I'd say.
I guess right.
Right. Absolutely. But I mean, they. Yeah, I'd say it has to. It was definitely more right. Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Extreme. I wouldn't say it's extreme, but it's right. Far right.
Who else is there? Am I missing anybody?
I don't know. That's what I know of as far as mainstream.
Yeah, I think that's the mainstream.
Even the local channels are left.
Yeah, of course.
Channel 3 is way, way far left. Cleveland.com, way far left. I mean,
anybody that even if they have an audience, anybody that has right-leaning as their dominant position is pushed to doing a fast channel.
Yeah.
Like Newsmax. Newsmax does as much or more traffic per day than CNN, but they can't get on a cable network. Why? Why can't they get on a cable network? Because the cable companies are owned by left-leaning lunatics.
Now, I'm happy to see that certain things like the LA Times and even Jeff Bezos, I wouldn't say they're going right, but they're definitely starting to wake up a little bit.
Well, they have to. The true reality, as the election showed, is that mainstream media just doesn't matter anymore. Trump won the election, I would say, more because of Joe Rogan than any other interview that either side did. Reached more people, got his word out better, got his word out in a more pleasing way, I think, than any other interview that Kamala or he did.
I don't even understand what he's saying in that text. But yeah, I mean, look, mainstream media is way far left. It is alternative media that has to be right. And anytime that there's been left-wing radio shows, like Jerry Springer and certain things like that, I mean, they've all failed. I mean, they've tried that kind of radio, and it fails. You know why? Because most people, failed miserably because people don't want to listen to it.
Mm-hmm. Nobody does support it.
CNN, the ratings are in the fucking toilet. They've actually
any of them. Which one is big? Which one is big?
None. CNN is actually, I mean, maybe that's what he's talking about. The left-wing media, it might be, there's a lot of them, but nobody's fucking watching them anymore. So yes, Fox Media or Fox TV definitely, controls the ratings.
Yeah.
CNN has actually talked about turning right or at least centrist because the ratings are so horrible.
Sure.
So bad.
Natalie posted it a little earlier in the comments. I'm not going to dig back and find it, but she's 100% correct. Comcast today announced that they're ditching news.
Really?
Comcast, the head company, said we're dumping MSNBC, we're dumping CNBC, and a couple of more channels. But the two major news outlets on their platform, they're dumping into a spinoff company, and they're not going to have it as part of their thing anymore.
Look, I remember when CNN came out, and
I'm going to take issue with. Hold on. I'm taking issue with this, and I'm just going to say it point blank. I don't watch any media, any news. I know Seth does. I have not watched a news channel in 10 years.
Can I explain why though? I watch because that's what I do for a living.
Yeah, you need it for work.
I mean, I watch all the channels, but I do it for a living. I've watched all the CNNs and MSNBCs and watched them whine and cry and everything else.
Sure.
I've watched Fox. I watched Fox whine and cry when Trump lost the last time. That's what I do for a living, you dumbass, Matthew. Yeah, and you know what? My wife lives with me, and she doesn't watch it. Yeah. All right? I'm in a bedroom watching by myself when I watch it. Most right-wingers don't watch it. Yeah. Look, I love Fox. I think it's great. But the ratings, compared to the size of the country, is spit. I mean, so no, the majority of people are not watching, you dumbass.
Yeah, I don't watch.
Just do some research.
I don't watch any news, even Fox. I just don't watch it. I watched, for a while, I was watching Scripps News, or it was called Newsy at the time, when it was just little 2 and 3 minute clips, and I could get everything I needed in about 15 minutes. I don't want to watch any of these fucking panel discussions. I've never watched an episode of Gutfeld or whatever. I've never watched any of this shit. I could care less. I don't care about the news channel. If I get my news now, I get it mostly from alternative news sources. A lot of it, truthfully, most of my news comes from Odyssey, odyssey.com.
Matthew thinks I proved his point. No, my point is that the CNNs, the MSNBCs, and the Colberts, and the the other douchebag fucking Jimmy Kimmel's and Seth, whatever his name is. I don't even know his late night show. Whatever. I mean, they're so bad that nobody wants to fucking watch it. That's the point. I mean, it's just bad. It's bad TV, and it's false TV, and people have woken up to the fact that it's not good and it's not true. Yeah. So I mean, it has nothing to do with right wingers wanting to be glued to the media. It has to do with the fact that the other shit is so terrible, so obviously false and fake that nobody wants to watch it anymore. Yeah. Get your head out of your ass, kid.
It is definitely over at this point. By the way, speaking of news,
there is no news.
Well, I'm going to transform.
Oh, you want some real quick news?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm not going to really get into the details, but if you listen to the show on the station that I used to work for, the time slot that I used to work for, there is now one less person on the show over there.
Oh, really?
Yes. I mean, they talked about it, so
Initials?
They talked about it, so I don't mind saying it.
Who is it?
CA.
Carmen Angelo's fired?
Not fired. They gave him I think
promotion?
He's doing news now. Well, he's doing news for California or something like that, but no longer on the show.
Oh, well, at least he landed on his feet, unlike you, who they just fucking threw out of there.
And then I lost my foot.
And then you lost.
He landed on his feet. Yeah. I got tossed out and lost mine.
Yeah, you left one there.
But I feel bad because it's
that sucks.
Regardless of sticking around doing another job, it's kind of
it's a demotion.
It's a shit thing to not be on the show that you helped build.
Yeah, and it's the biggest show in Cleveland, or one of the biggest shows in Cleveland. Is it still the biggest show in Cleveland?
I don't think the ratings are very good, but no, I don't think the ratings are very good at all. But I still, I feel bad for him because I like him, and
well, that sucks.
I wish him the best. So,
well, this is going to make you happy. This made me smile. So, did you see this hostage-like read that the girl from The View had to do about Matt Gaetz?
No.
Oh, you'll love this. So apparently the lawyers got into the fucking BIMs at The View about whatever they were spewing about Matt Gaetz.
Okay.
And made them not apologize, but made them give a news correction. It's that Sonny Hostin, that awful racist cunt.
Yeah, she's a raging lunatic.
But watch how she reads it. Don't worry about the words so much. She's reading it like every one of these hostage videos where they give a statement right before they get their head sawed off. Watch the way she just dead eyes it into the screen. She totally hates that. She's the low man on the pole, so to speak, and she has to read this. Watch this. It's fucking hilarious.
On screen. What about Gaetz? Sonny, you have a legal note.
I do have a legal note. Thank you, Whoopi. Matt Gaetz has long denied all allegations, calling the claims, quote, invented, and saying in a statement to ABC News that this false smear following a 3-year criminal investigation should be viewed with great skepticism, that DOJ investigation was closed with no charges being brought.
We'll be right.
Well, I mean, he's accurate. No charges were brought. I mean, I don't have no idea what the guy did.
Why does behind the scenes this starts with, we're suing your fucking asses?
Absolutely. No doubt.
That is why she's reading this.
Whoopi's got her own lawsuit to worry about.
Yeah, Whoopi fucked up with the bakery. Now this one fucked up with Matt Gaetz.
That show should be blown up, man. I mean, seriously. And I don't mean, literally. Well, maybe literally. That is the worst fucking show of all time. How come Madonna can say blow up the White House, but I'll probably get sued or taken off for saying blow up that show?
Well, you probably will, but I've noticed a lot of people that are asking for the assassination of Trump on the Blue Sky. I've seen a lot of that Trump and all his people should be killed.
Well, you could say that, yeah, right? I mean, that's okay.
That's fine, as long as it's on Blue Sky.
I saw one blue-haired bitch go, I'm going to burn this motherfucker down.
Yeah.
You pig.
Yeah.
And then there was another thing that like Beyonce's doing the halftime show.
Yeah.
For a Christmas Day game.
Okay.
And like it's gonna be on Netflix and everybody's all excited. It's Beyonce. Oh, Beyonce. I said, look, unless that bitch is gonna dye her hair blue, shave it fucking off, get divorced to Jay-Z and rub herself down with some Diddy baby oil, I ain't watching that thing.
Which, by the way, everybody should visit Diddy Tales, one of the websites that I do. And I've been keeping up with it. It has like some great news and stuff on it about celebrities. And actually, one of the stories that we're going to probably talk about in the bonus time is over there on Diddy Tales right now about Kim Kardashian potentially being in the mood to fuck robots.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Complete with pictures.
The sex ones that we talked about before?
We'll get to it in the overtime.
Oh, man. Now you got my interest peaked.
Swing.
if you are not signed up for the overtime, man, you need to sign up for that shit like immediately.
That's when it gets a little dirtier than this.
A little dirtier.
That's when it turns Penthouse Forums.
My poor daughter has to hear some of this shit from
only your side, though.
Only my side. Great. So when we're talking about filling milk jugs with whatever.
See, I love it. It makes me happy that you're uncomfortable.
John and I agree on the whole Beyonce. Beyonce sucks kind of thing.
Yeah, but I still love that commercial of her, stripping down in the Levi commercial.
She's hot. I mean, what do you want me to say? I can't deny reality here, man. She's a good-looking woman.
The girl has got a great
I kind of like
cutter.
some of her country stuff is not too terrible, to be honest.
Stop it.
Not bad.
Stop it.
I would sit there and lube myself down with some Diddy oil, dye my ass blue, and listen to some country music from Beyonce.
No, you wouldn't. Who are you kidding?
I might. Are you going to watch the Beyonce thing? Would you tune in?
No,
to watch
I more than likely. I usually spend Christmas Day with my mom and watch the football or the basketball or whatever is on Christmas Day. So she'll probably have it on. I may see it. I may not. I don't know. I don't know if my mom needs to see me rubbing my dick while Beyonce's running around.
I think that would probably be no
I don't know if that's good holiday cheer or not.
Somebody's suing Netflix for the streaming issues.
I did hear about that, yeah.
During the Tyson fight.
Let's see if I can find that real quick. Netflix sued Tyson.
Seth is all naked in his wheelchair while people walk by jamming out to country Beyonce. What, you've been sitting outside my house, John? That's what I saw the other day was John with binoculars checking me out.
Yeah, probably was.
You don't need binoculars. Check out my big ass sitting there.
Rub that stump, Seth. Rub the stump.
I'm telling you. Amputee OnlyFans is where I'm going next.
You can start that.
I might make more money than we do on mines.
Of course.
What?
I put an ad up. There it is. Netflix sued over technical glitches in unwatchable Jake Paul, Mike. They're not going to... People... Look, I admit, from what I've heard and everything else, it was impossible to watch. But you're never going to beat Netflix in a lawsuit here. Call them up, get your $3 credit, and move on.
Well, that's just it. I mean, I have problems with the internet here 90% of the time. Yeah. And I call up and I get like a $19 credit, and then they don't do anything else for it. What are they going to do?
Yeah.
And
do you really think you're going to win $10,000 somehow because you couldn't watch an entertainment event that you can watch now?
Yeah. And 120 million people are tuning in at the same time. They're bound to have problems. Look, it did suck. I mean, but I was able to actually finally get the fight, like a round into it. But I got it. I watched it.
But guess what? They don't have an obligation other than putting a best fourth effort to getting you that broadcast.
You know who I would sue? Jake Paul and Mike Tyson for having a shitty fucking fight.
There's no one to sue here. Just stop with the lawsuits. Boy, if Trump could do one thing on the Chris Aiken list, it would be to stop all this frivolous bullshit lawsuits. Stop this nonsense. I mean, do you think that Netflix went out there and said, let's see how many people we can get to sign up and then fuck them by not giving them the fight?
Yeah, but can't we stop the lawsuits after I win one?
Well, you got to file one first.
I'm going to file something.
Well, you got to file it. You got to file it. See, there you go. We're getting sued.
That's true. What if people had to pay for this and,
yeah,
sue us?
They could, I guess.
If we take time off during mines, people could sue us.
If you don't think that $3 credit from Netflix is enough, wait till you see what you get offered as a settlement from us. 30 cents.
Get one of those milk jugs we keep talking about.
Exactly. Here you go. Here you go. Chip the crust off the top and drink away, faggot.
That's so terrible, man.
Yeah, I know.
Awful. Why would you say something like that?
Because it's John.
So, tomorrow night.
Yes.
Big Browns game.
Ooh.
Huge game.
Honestly, I forgot it was on.
Yep, tomorrow night in the snow.
Great.
Cleveland. The Steelers are going to come in and kick the shit out of the Browns. I mean, seriously, I don't want anybody to get hurt. They should really just cancel that game and give the win to the Steelers.
Just let the Steelers have a win.
Yeah, just
both teams get 10 days or 2 weeks off.
Seriously, how many people are actually going to show up for that game tomorrow night other than Steelers fans?
It's going to be all Steeler fans.
Yeah, you might as well just go ahead and call it a day.
For how many people are going to show?
Oh,
my phone
is Siri wanted to tell you.
How many people are going to show up? But nobody's going to show up except for Steeler fans. Call the game now. Let everybody stay home. It's going to be nasty outside tomorrow night, and say forget about it.
I'm not against it, dude. I was listening to Carmen and Lima on 92. Yes, I think it was yesterday, and they were talking about the pricing for the game because they were wondering if it is going to be full of Steeler fans. The pricing for the game yesterday was already down on the secondary market to about $35 a ticket, with the fees included. So by tomorrow, the tickets with the weather coming in and stuff, those tickets are going to be $5 a piece.
All right. Speaking of 92, I'm allowed to say names on here, right? I can call people out. It's on X.
I just did, yeah.
Right?
Why not? Sure.
All right. So let me read this because I have a problem with this fucking guy to begin with.
Okay.
Some guy posted the Schultz report. I don't know who Jordan Schultz is, but the Schultz report says, since there's been speculation, President-elect Donald Trump's signature dance, which several NFL players have adopted in celebrations, is not an issue for the league, according to sources.
Okay.
So you're apparently allowed to dance, do the Trump dance.
You're allowed to do everything else. Shit,
So-
they do delivering babies and everything else in the end zone now.
One Daryl Ryder,
Yeah.
who's a
Dick.
great guy. He's fantastic.
Seems like a dick.
He's a dick.
I don't know him, but he seems like a dick.
Well, I mean, I don't know him personally other than what I've seen online. One Daryl Ryder says, but they want to ban kneeling at the national anthem.
Yeah.
Wait, just don't kneel for the national anthem. So he's pissed off that you're allowed to do the Trump dance, but just don't kneel for the national anthem.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty
Exactly
much it.
correct.
That's very correct, Daryl. This guy was
One
the
is
same guy
about catching a ball. One is about people that gave their life.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is the same guy that I got in an argument with about the COVID thing back in the day. But anyways,
Well,
I just saw that.
He's a supreme leftist, isn't he?
I don't know him. I don't know him personally, but I don't care to either. After seeing junk like this, people died for the fucking right for this flag and the national anthem in this country, and he's going to compare that to doing the fucking Trump dance after you catch a ball in the end zone.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself, dude.
Yeah. How about this, Daryl? Kneel with your fist in the air when you score the touchdown. Go ahead. Nobody cares.
I mean, like one guy said, the fact that you can't see the difference between the two explains a lot.
Yeah, he's a tool bag. Just looking for, but he's one of these engagement click guys too, isn't he? That just
Probably.
post bullshit out there for clicks.
Somebody says, typical dorky little Daryl, cry more, little buddy. Do you really not see the difference here? I mean, he's taking a little bit of a beating.
He should take a beating for that post. That's a terribly bad take.
One guy says, Trump won Ohio by 12 points. Know your audience. Oh, Karen, lighten up. Somebody just called him a loser.
But again, he doesn't care because he's getting engagement. And I guarantee you, and not for nothing, you might be able to answer this better than me. I guarantee you somewhere in these guys' contracts now is their engagement on Twitter.
Oh, I know there. Yeah, absolutely there is.
So if he says, look, I gained 43,000 followers and had 2.1 million engagements in my last contract, give me more money.
But there's got to be a clause in there, too, about not, doing something shitty with the station is going to, get shit for it. I mean, there's got to be something in there for that, too.
Yeah, but he's going under Howard Stern rules.
I guess.
If they hate you, you listen more.
But see, that makes me want to turn 92.3 off, dude. Like Nick Wilson, I think is fucking great, dude. I think Nick Wilson is really good at what he does.
Sure.
Afternoon guy, 92. I think he's really, really good. He's got a great voice.
Sure.
Knowledgeable. Knows his shit.
Yeah.
And he's fun to listen to. If somebody knows Nick Wilson, tell him I said hi and I like his stuff.
Okay.
But when he puts Daryl on,
Yeah.
I turn it off. Immediately, I hit the button and say, I'll find something else to watch.
Right. I know I'm sort of like that with, I love Ken Carman. I'm a big fan of Ken Carman, but I can't take Anthony Lima. So I don't listen very much anymore. Very rarely do I listen.
I just can't. I don't know. Nick Wilson is good, but as soon as he puts Daryl Ryder on, anytime Daryl Ryder's on the radio, I turn it off.
Yeah, I don't really listen to Ryder at all. I don't know. There's a 92 at all, to be honest. They got rid of all their good guys, and their good guys weren't great. So,
well, Nick was doing nights for a while. Now he was back, and they went somewhere else, like Charlotte or something like that, and he came back here. And he's again, Nick Wilson, no Ken Carman rules, dude. I don't know Ken Carman from anything. I don't know Nick really either, but Ken Carman, I listen in the morning,
yeah,
and sometimes I'm just overwhelmed with the amount of bullshit, not sports, as they talk. Like,
and they have like a side podcast of even more of that stuff. They do talk a lot of nonsense.
And, some of the nonsense can be funny at times. I understand that. I mean, dude, working with Triv, we did nonsense stuff all the time.
Of course.
But we tried to engage the audience in the nonsense. It wasn't a lot of behind-the-scenes nonsense.
Well, and with Carmen, I mean, do I really need to know about Streetsboro Rockets basketball?
Right.
I mean, I went to Streetsboro and I don't care.
I don't really get it sometimes in the morning. I mean, I try to listen a little bit. Look, I flip around a lot in the morning. I think that radio in this town is really, really bad.
I don't listen to radio unless I'm in the car.
There's a lot of stuff that's really terrible.
Yeah.
But Ken Carmen, I mean, I like him. I think he's talented.
I like
a lot of it is just crap to me. I want to hear.
Look, he's a fat guy that owns his fatness. He's on my good list.
Oh, I didn't say no. Look, I have nothing bad to say about him other than the fact that I want to hear a little bit more taste. And then on top of that, they have a lot of commercials, which I can't blame them. Like, you're making money, they're good.
Morning show.
But as far as listener-wise, it just sounds like a bunch of shit.
You came from the Triv show. Was there ever a show with more commercials than that show?
Believe me, we had so many commercials, it was outrageous. But see, this is what I did. This is how I try to do things a little bit differently. And hence another reason why I ended up getting fired. Because I said, why are you letting shows like Rover, which is, an FM talk show, and other FM talkers do things differently than us?
Right.
They get, the best clock for us was at the top and bottom of the hour. So 30 and top of the hour was to do 6-7 minutes of commercials in a row.
Right.
At each one. And then in between, you have 20 to 25
20-minute swing.
Stop talking.
Mm.
And so, you can at least engage the audience for those 20, 25 minutes, and then they have news to listen to, and then sit through some crap commercials, and then go back to talking for a long time. But you keep these guys in the morning, like on Ken's show, Carmen, I hear them talk for like 5 minutes, another commercial break. Talk for 3 minutes, another commercial break. It's like, enough, dude. Yeah. Like, get a long segment of just talking to me.
It's a hard clock is what they're doing. They're running on a hard clock.
But they're not. It's not like it's a national show.
Dude, I don't know if it's still the same people that are over there or not. It sounds like it is, because Matt and I had that same problem over at 92. When we were on 92 and we were doing the metal show, we didn't have a hard clock in that you had to do, this or that, but we had hard 6 minutes of commercials 3 times an hour. 3 times an hour. We had 6-minute breaks of commercials, which was brutal. Plus, then we had to play music. And then so we ended up some hours we would talk like 2 minutes in an hour on a 2-hour show. It's like, what the hell? But it was what it was.
Most shows are like that. Like when I even started at MMS, it was, you got to play this song, that song, this song, that song, talk between this song and then commercials. I mean, it is what it is. But when it comes to a talk show format, there's ways to do it. Like Bob does it the right way. I mean, Bob was taking breaks at 20 and this and that, when I got there, and I said, no, just talk. When you're done talking, let me know and I'll hit the commercials. You want to keep the audience. I mean, like we do interviews now and they're 22 minutes long. So what? It's fine.
Yeah, as long as the station doesn't have some contracted, we'll play your commercial at exactly 20 and 40 or whatever. But, and even that, I mean, does anybody ever press that real hard?
No.
I don't think so either, but.
I got good Lord, Seth, really? Nick Wilson talks way more sports stuff.
Sports than Carmen?
It's good stuff, though. It's entertaining.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't listen enough to have I listen to Carmen a little bit in podcast form, and they edit out all the bullshit. Edit out all the bullshit and edit out all of the callers, which is the worst form of bullshit that they have. All right, stop reading messages. We have a guest.
I like Tony Rizzo, though, too. I think Tony Rizzo is a fairly decent
when you can hear him. If you happen to be driving within 3 miles of the station, then maybe you hear him.
Okay, real quick before we get to our guest.
Yeah.
You know John very well.
Yes.
He's your best friend. Mm-hmm. Where exactly does Ken Carmen sleep in his house?
In John's house?
In John's house, because it's obvious that they have some sort of affair going on. Maybe John lets him sleep, Carmen sleep with his, John's wife.
On top of his wife, right?
Does that work? Is that how that works? I don't know. All right, we do have a guest coming on, Thom, who I met through the show and through knowing him for a while now.
Sure.
He's a photographer.
Okay.
And I'm going to bring him on. Thom, how are you?
Hey, good to see you guys.
What's up, man?
Now, forgive me. I think I've been saying your last name wrong the entire time. I would say, how do you say your last name?
It's Sivo.
Sivo. Okay, because I was saying Sivo. That's what I thought when I saw it. I was S-I-V-O, but it's Sivo.
Yeah, nobody gets it right, so don't even worry about it.
I apologize. So, Thom has a photography business, and it's ThomSivo.com. Is that what it is?
SivoPhotography.com.
Okay. And I met him because I knew that he had a photography company, and I needed to get senior pictures taken of my daughter.
Okay.
And so I contacted Thom, and he was able to do it. Did a fantastic job, and they look great. He did great stuff for my daughter, and they're fantastic. But getting to talk with him, he actually is very interesting to talk to. So welcome to the show, Thom, first and foremost.
Well, thank you. It's an honor.
It is not an honor, but we appreciate it. You hear this show, it's certainly not an honor. So tell everybody your background. You're a vet, right?
Yeah, I served in the Navy for almost 13 years.
Okay.
Had broken service, got out, went to college, got bored, went back in the Navy.
Oof.
It was a good time.
All right, I got to ask right there, dude, as somebody that served, when you go back after having the break and getting kind of civilianized, how difficult is it to get back into that mode with people barking at you and you're just supposed to, yes, sir, and no, sir, and yes, sergeant? How difficult was that?
It actually wasn't difficult
Really?
at all. I was upper ranking.
Okay.
So I got a few breaks that a lot of people don't. But I will tell you, they put you through what they call veteran training.
Okay.
It is the worst shit that I've ever had to go through in the military because it's all stupid shit, Chris.
Right. Yeah, definitely. It just seems because there was a time I had the same thought for a minute. I came out, I was out about a year and a half. Things weren't going the way I thought they were going to go. And I was like, I'm still young enough. I still had that because even after getting out for a couple of years, I was still like 25 because I went in young. So I was like, well, I'm 25. I'm still in decent shape. I could get back and do this. And, and I talked to somebody about it and they're like, you don't have to do basic training. You just have to prove, for the Army, you just have to take a PT test. And as long as you could pass it, you didn't have to do any like remedial. And so I was like, yeah, maybe I'll do this. And then I just was like, when I started talking to the recruiter guy about coming back, and he started talking about, well, you're going to have to go in and you're going to have to be able to accept this and that. You're going to have to go in a stripe down. I was an enlisted guy. And they told me, they said I had taken a long enough break that I had to go back as stripe down. So I was like, I don't know.
Well, fortunately for me, they actually said the same thing.
Okay.
But it ended up, I was a crypto tech, so
okay.
Intel, and they needed Intel guys. So I said, well, if you need me, I want to go back in as an E6.
Okay.
And they said, okay.
What's a crypto guy?
Good question. Breaking codes, naval intelligence. So basically, we listened in on everybody to see what was going on in the world.
See, that's crazy shit. That's the kind of stuff that I don't know that goes on. Being a guy that never been in the military, doesn't know a lot about the military other than the fact that I love you guys and respect you guys. I don't know what the hell goes on. So you guys have the ability to listen into like other countries and other boats or whatever it is going on around the world?
We have the ability to do anything we want.
Well, I'll tell you this much. I was an Intel guy as well. I was an analyst. So I'll tell you this, Seth. Things that you don't like when people say that they're, talk about Intel, you guys that have never served, y'all start thinking of The Americans or some spy movie or something, 007. Right.
Yeah.
That ain't it. What we, myself, and I'm sure Thom do, we take little bits of information and try to figure out how they work out into bigger things. Like I'll give one example that I know was declassified, so I'm okay talking about it. When I was in Korea, we figured out that the North Korean army had a shortage of a certain size of a hat. And when you hear that, you're just like, well, so what, right? But when you run it through the analytics of it, well, then you start realizing, well, that means that their soldiers are this tall, this big, this size. That would mean that they have X number of people that they could put on this front if there was ever a combat. It all goes, the littlest types of things like that can turn into major analytical information.
Yes. It's all pieces of the puzzle.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That was our job, Chris and I. We both looked for those small pieces and then tried to put them all together.
Yeah.
Because see, like I know that I've talked to a couple other guys that were in the military, and they say that they have equipment that Americans would have no idea that they had. Like they had one piece of equipment that they showed like some guys in the desert, and then they put something on like over top of them. Next thing you know, they disappeared. Like this group of guys was all of a sudden gone. It was like cloaking devices that they had that you couldn't see shit of where these people were all of a sudden. And I mean, it's amazing what people don't know that goes on in the military, which I guess is a good thing.
It's a need to know basis. Mm-hmm. And
but
most Americans don't have a fucking clue, so they don't need to know.
But doesn't it mean that the opposition has the same kind of stuff going on? Aren't the Chinese just as qualified with their intel as we are?
No, because we're better.
Well,
I'd like to think that.
That's the thought.
Are we still better? That's a good question.
I don't know.
Well, you know what? Here's how you can. The only way you can gauge it is by actually having an actual war. So let's hope we never gauge it.
Yeah.
Right.
But whatever we do know, we as a people know. Assume that there's a zillion times more technology that you don't know, because there's for every little, like, it's not a secret that they have the big audio guns that they could shoot the waves and blow everybody's eardrums and this and that. Well, if they have that, just as an example, we've never seen any examples of that. But don't assume that's like the highest power sound weapon that they have. That's probably the lowest power sound weapon because they let you know about it. Right. There's probably something that's out there that just with sound waves could mow down a city. But we don't know about that yet. Or it's not been shared.
I know that we had a guy on Bob's show that was talking about EMPs. And how EMPs could actually be worse and more devastating than regular, missile strikes, because they could just knock out everything. Like your cars won't work, your cell phones won't work, everything will just die that's electronic. I mean, I don't know, do we have that kind of capability too?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, is that...
Well, the one thing with EMPs especially, we from my understanding, we're already set up to where we have power supplies in different locations around the United States that are not online. So if we have an EMP, it won't affect that equipment. And then once the EMP happens, then they can boost it up and we can start powering shit up again.
Well, that's crazy. I mean, that's kind of stuff that, I like that kind of crap.
Dude, it's fast. And I've talked about this on the show before. I drove for the fourth highest ranking guy in the all of the military, and I was his bodyguard. So I got to go to some neat places. I definitely got to go to a lot of neater places that most people got to go to. And there's nothing crazier than when you drive up onto a mountain or something and someone opens a door that don't look like a door. It looks like half of the mountain and it just slides out. And you go in it and you realize there is a whole nother planet built inside of that mountain. Mm-hmm. And it's as big as a city. And it's crazy. It literally melts your head. It gives you a headache because you can't believe what you're seeing. It's fresh out of a sci-fi movie. It's craziness.
And there's all kinds of shit like that out there.
Yes, all over the place. Wow. There's probably, and I don't know this to be true at all, and I've been out a long time, but I would bet there are 40 to 50 such places as that in this country alone, just in the continental United States. Easily.
I would agree with that.
So how did you transition from being in the military to photography?
Well, honestly, I tried to get into the Navy as a photographer's mate. And at the time when I joined, I was 17. My parents had a sign I wasn't allowed to leave till I was 18. But because they didn't have photographer's mate, they said, oh, well, you did real well on the test, so we're going to make you a cryptologic technician. And I was 17 years old. I'm like, what the hell is a cryptologic technician? And they told me, and it sounded cool. And I was looking for college money. And so I took it, and it actually was an amazing job, I thought. The one thing when I first went in, my first duty station, I love this because remember when the Patriot Act, everybody was freaking out about the Patriot Act?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they're going to listen to my phone calls. I was tapping people's phones in 1984. So, yeah, we were doing that shit long before anybody was even close to being aware of it.
And so when you were finally done with the military, you wanted to just get back to photography?
And yeah, I mean, I came home. Honestly, all my friends at the time were photographers. And we created this amazing community of artists in general. And we all just fed each other. And it was great because we would help each other in different shoots. So one of my buddies, who's a huge fashion photographer in New York City now, he would get these jobs with people, and I'd get to go with him to wherever all over the United States, set up a show, set up this, set up that for movie stars or what have you. It was fun, but I'm not starstruck by any means. So most of the time you found me off to the side just hanging out, smoking a cigarette or something with the actually Patrick Swayze.
Nice.
Got to know him in New York. That was kind of fun because he smoked like a smokestack.
Wow.
And when I saw him, he'd be like, hey, come out and smoke with me. Oh, okay. So
that's pretty cool, though. But
it was really cool. I mean, it was a great time. I definitely miss that part of my life. I mean, we've all moved on and went on to hopefully bigger and better things. But yeah, so I ended up doing the photography thing. And actually that guy I was just talking about, his name's Steve Vaccarello. He got me my first gig, my first print piece. And it just went from there. And it was something that was fun to do. So
we were talking when we were shooting my daughter's pictures, and you were talking about you got into like a lot of political people that you were photographing, like who?
Well, let's see. Name somebody. No. Obama, Bush, Clinton's. Can I say something?
Sure.
Please.
I think I told you, Seth, when we were talking about this, who I thought was the nicest politician that I worked with.
Yeah.
But I didn't tell you who the worst politician I worked for. And the worst politician I ever worked for was a bitch by the name of Hillary Clinton. My wife actually told me, you're not going to call her a bitch on the show, are you? And I said, yeah, she treated me like shit.
Really?
Yeah. When I had to go to DC to photograph a fundraiser for her. And I was there. I wasn't there because they hired me necessarily. They hired my old studio partner, who was a DNC photographer. And they brought Hillary out to meet me. And she literally was poking her finger in my chest. And honest to God, every other word out of her mouth was the F word.
Wow.
And I kept my mouth shut. She walked out of the room. I looked at my partner and I said, hey, if this bitch opens her mouth one more time to me, I'm walking out the door. Honest to God, you guys, when I said that, Secret Service was standing behind us. Right. This dude leans in between us and he goes, try to be with the bitch every day.
Well, Thom, I'm sorry to hear about your suicide.
Yeah.
I was just going to say the same thing. It's been nice, Thom. Thanks for doing the pictures.
I mean, she was incredibly a pain in the ass.
Jesus.
But she hired me 3 times. So.
Oh, wow. How was Obama to work with?
Obama was super nice. We were covering an event, and he actually came back into the press room and walked around all the press and shook everybody's hand, introduced himself. Now, this was just before he was elected.
Okay. So he was known.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
And, super nice guy.
Sure.
Now,
obviously, my politics don't jive with his.
Well, I was going to ask you real quick, how does a guy, because mainly when you think of photographers, you think of artsy kind of people, generally they lean a little bit more to the left, and you certainly don't fit that mold. How did that happen? Is that military training? Is it what is it?
No, it was basically because my studio partner was a DNC photographer, and she needed help. Right. And they don't ask you what your political affiliation is. So I used to joke and say, hey, I'll take their money. It's as green as anybody else's.
Amen. Did you have to get cleared at all through that? Like, do they run you through a clearance process, like a security clearance type thing?
Honestly, no.
Wow.
But there was, as this went on, the Republican Party in Cleveland found out that I was conservative.
Okay.
And so they started hiring me to do stuff. And then there was a job that I covered, and this is one I told Seth about, and it was actually a secret meeting that was coming into Cleveland at the Renaissance. And I was being attached as a photographer to one of the guests.
Okay.
Who I didn't know who that would be until I got there. And the reason they hired me is because I had my security clearance.
Okay.
And the guest that I was attached to was Dick Cheney.
Oh, wow.
And I told Seth, as funny as it sounds, the nicest guy you'd ever want to meet. He treated me like I was his grandson. Walked around with his arm around me, and hey, I got you. So he was nice. He was a good dude.
Well, as long as Liz Cheney wasn't there, I guess you were okay.
Yeah,
she's the one that I would worry about more than Dick. Other than
Dick, unless Dick's got a shotgun in his
I was going to say, other than Dick shooting you accidentally, I'd be more worried about Liz.
Yeah.
Well, who else have you met and photographed? Famous other than politicians? Have you met, I don't know, famous Indians or Browns or?
Oh, tons of the Indians and Browns. Because I've worked for I've done every job you can possibly do.
Okay.
And as a matter of fact, if I can do a quick plug for Cleveland Coffee Company.
Okay.
I don't work for them anymore, but I was their roaster for a long time. And because I was a photographer, we had a lot of the local sports celebrities would help us out with advertising, and I would do the photos. I mean, it's fun. I just did a gig with Myles Garrett. That was fun. He's a nice guy.
I wish you could tackle a little bit better, but.
Oh, somebody's been searching.
I just found it right now. Look at that. Bob Feller. Wow.
Yeah, good old Bob. He was actually really cool. Him and his wife, I sent them some photos after we did the shoot.
Okay.
And he sent some back signed for my stepson. And so, yeah,
cool.
he was famous for signing everything and anything anybody would put in front of him.
Sure. Now, Thom, what do you?
Somebody wants to know if you own the photos or it depends on the job.
I always own my photos.
Smart.
Now, I just had a situation where a company wanted to use my images, and when they sent me the release, they literally had in the release that they would assume ownership. So I basically took my usual fee and multiplied by 10 and said, okay, if you're willing to pay this, you can own anything you want. And guess what? They said, we don't need it that bad.
Yeah, of course not. Do you run into the problem of people stealing your photos and, using them all over the place, uncredited or unpaid for, unlicensed?
I have seen some of my photos used, mainly just locally, Cleveland-wise. It would just take way too much of my time. I'd spend every day just searching for my photos.
Sure.
I mean, there's literally websites out there that you can hire that will do that. But by the time you pay whatever it is to get them to do it, you better hope they get some lawsuits or you're not going to be able to afford it.
Because that's what I was kind of wondering, that kind of thing too, because I know when I worked at iHeart and even where I work now, if you want to put like a photo attached to an article that you wrote or whatever, then you have to make sure that it's approved, this, that, and the other thing, Getty Images or whatever you got to use.
Right.
And so, I mean, I didn't know what that process was. I mean, if you just happen to see it on somebody's article, you can sue, but it would be a pain in the ass to do it.
Yeah, I don't know what the number is now, but it used to be, if it was a copyright infringement, it would start at about $100,000 federal lawsuit. And I actually did have a friend here in Cleveland who Marvel Comics stole one of his images, and he got $100,000 for it.
The problem is it's awful hard to.
Yes.
It's awful hard to prove, and it's hard to prove that they stole it directly from you and not from someone else that stole it and misrepresented it and all that other stuff. Yeah.
Unless you're working with a company that knows what they're doing, though, there's so much information embedded in the image.
Mm-hmm.
My name is all over that image.
Sure.
So.
Have you ever thought about doing a book or anything?
Actually, I've thought about doing that a lot. I tend to be too lazy. No, I actually worked with Hospice of the Western Reserve and went to South Africa.
Wow.
And they had a sister hospice there. And for 2 weeks, my job was to basically go around and just document the whole visit. Then when we came back, I got a few of the other employees together and we put together a cookbook. And it's with my images, and then it's recipes from South Africa and then from some of the best chefs here in Cleveland. So that was kind of fun.
Sure.
Look, we got it.
That's my wife.
Come on, you're not supposed to say that. You're supposed to say, hey, look, somebody knows I'm not lazy.
Oh.
I told you, Chris, this guy's got a lot of interesting stuff.
I'm telling you. Well, Thom, what do you like to take photos of now? Like do you still get a charge out of doing like a big sporting event or a political thing, or do you like doing stuff like you did with Seth's daughter, where you can kind of be a little more creative and mold the photos to what you see?
Yeah. Well, I started out as an architectural photographer.
Okay.
And my excuse for that was always because I don't like subjects that talk back.
Right.
But being in Cleveland, you got to do a little bit of everything.
Right.
And so if I was to pick something that I enjoy doing the most, I guess, is probably stuff like I did with Seth's daughter, Molly. Because of what you just said, Chris, I have some freedom there, the creativity. And I'll be honest, Seth's daughter was so easy to photograph. She's one of those people, I joke with people and go, yeah, I could take the camera up next to my head, click the shutter button, and we're done.
Nice.
Well, she certainly loved it. I mean, she had a great time, and she loves the picture. So.
Oh, I'm glad.
So tell people about your business and now, and do you take pictures for? Do you do a lot of senior pictures, or what's your main focus on? People call you? What can you do?
My main thing right now is I work with a lot of builders, going in and photographing their after they do their thing.
Okay.
I also do a lot of real estate. It's just, I'm not even going to say that because then people won't call me. Never mind. Lots of real estate, and then events. Whatever.
Weddings?
No.
No weddings?
I've been married 3 times. That's enough.
But I've met your wife and she's absolutely lovely, and so this is a keeper right there. I would say that. Yeah,
definitely. If you only knew some of the stuff, Seth, that she's had to put up with me, yeah, she is definitely a keeper.
Are you afraid that being at too many weddings might give you the itch or something? Is that what you're thinking?
The itch to leave, probably.
Yeah.
I'll tell you real quick. The last I did a wedding for a friend.
Okay.
And she was one of the biggest bridezillas I had ever come across. And I told her at the end of the night, I said, congratulations. I'm so happy for you. And now you've proven to me I shouldn't be doing weddings because this sucked.
I'm telling you, man, my wife wants me to do this Christmas card thing, right? So we have 3 friggin' cats. We have a dog. We have a tortoise. And then the 3 of us. And I said, there's no effing way in the world that we're going to get 3 cats and a dog. The tortoise is fine, but 3 cats and a dog to sit still for a damn picture for Christmas. And I don't want to be that guy that sends out the Christmas card with the letter on how we're doing for the year. I just refuse to do that kind of crap.
I don't blame you.
I don't know. He might be getting another call going, 3 cats and a dog. We'll be over in a little bit.
No worries. I got you covered.
If people want to check out your stuff, though, it's sivophotography.com. It's been rolling along the bottom of the screen there.
Yeah, and also if you go to my Instagram, it's just Thom Sivo, THOMSIVO. There you'll see a lot more of what I do.
Okay.
I usually post something every day. I've taken a bit of a hiatus lately, but I'm getting ready to start that up again. And just post an image and leave it at that.
Nice.
Let people admire. I used to make comments and then I got canceled. So
I think actually that's when I started this podcast and started putting stuff up on Instagram. I think that's where I first saw you was there on Instagram, and it was cool. And I thought, it's cool to actually be able to have you on the show and talk to you about what you do, and it's awesome. It's cool. And I appreciate you listening to us. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh, I love it. I mean, I told you, Seth, that I was a diehard Trevisano fan, and the day he died was horrible.
Yeah.
As I'm sure it was for you. And then when I heard you were starting a podcast, dude, since day one, I've been there. So
that's cool. That's really
awesome. Chris, just so you know, I own one of those stupid Giselka sweatshirts.
Hey, I'll sign it for you when I see you. How's that?
There we go.
Talking about the worst mistake I made there. That's money wasted.
I just love the show. You guys are great. You make me laugh at the end of the day, no matter what kind of day I've had.
Nice.
Very you have cool. Similar thought process, or you think like I do. So
sorry to hear that.
Yeah, that's either good for me or bad for me.
I was gonna say, geez.
Well, people are thinking that you were very cool and they wanted to have you back on the show, so we're gonna make that happen. But I want to thank you for coming on today, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely.
I greatly appreciate you having me on. It's nice to meet you, Chris.
Yeah, nice to meet you, man.
And again, my daughter could not have been more excited. I was going to show some of the pictures that you took on the show today, but then I was like, you know what? I'm not sure that I want everybody checking out my daughter. And
I wouldn't.
I'll just leave it alone. But let me just tell you, they are fantastic pictures. We took some nice shots, like with the city in the background, and
there's a few that I was hesitant to add in there, Seth, because as a father myself, I was like, yeah, maybe she looks a little too good there.
Well, believe me, my wife said the same thing. She's like, okay, we're not going to print that one out. I was like, yes, we are. Whatever my daughter wants, we're going to have up there. So, again, can't thank you enough, and we're going to definitely have you back on the show. So,
well, thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you, my friend. We'll talk to you soon.
All righty. Take care.
All right, Tom.
See you,
talk to you.
Bye.
Bye. Thom Sivo. Fantastic. SivoPhotography.com.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he's got a lot of interesting stuff, man. I'm telling you, the guy has lived a hell of a life.
Sure. I could talk military all day long with him. You kidding me? Two intel guys together? Oh, boy.
Well, the stuff that you guys know is crazy to me.
Yeah. The hardest part would be, what can we talk about?
Well, that's just it. Why can't you say stuff now? What difference? Nobody's going to come kill you.
Well, it's not about killing you. It's about going to jail over it.
Could you still go to jail this many years later?
Yeah, oh yeah. You sign the in perpetuity clause when you get a security clearance. Yeah, you can't talk about that shit. That's why I had to think of a story that I knew was unclassified.
But you know that some of that stuff could change by now. But
it's probably all changed by now. But it's little things that, again, it's the little things that turn into the big things. Knowing how we used to do something might give somebody a clue on how they've moved forward to the next thing. They don't want any of it out there. It's the same reason you don't have the JFK stuff out there. It's been fucking 65 years and you still don't know. Because somebody feels like it could be a problem to somebody else. So,
how did you meet this guy again? Thom was he was a fan of Triv, obviously, and then I saw that he was listening to this show, and I knew that he had a photography company because it was in. I looked him up when he was on Instagram and stuff, and he does great work. I mean, he really does. He does great photos and a lot of cool stuff. And then I happened to just ask him because, look, I was looking for senior photos for Molly, and some of these places will charge you $1,000 more, whatever. I just don't have a whole lot of money right now. I'm just being honest with you.
I understand.
I mean, we're not making a ton doing this, and there's a lot of shit.
Any.
Sorry, we're not making any. What's it? I think $20.
Yeah, $20 maybe.
But so and I knew he did photography, and I wasn't looking for a deal or anything like that, but I wanted to see what he did because at least I know the guy, and I know he wouldn't rip me off. And so I gave him a buzz, and we hooked up, and he does really great work, and he's just an interesting, nice guy.
Sure. And
more than interesting, him and his wife were very friendly to us, very sweet to Molly, and I enjoyed spending the afternoon with them because they're nice people. And, a lot of times you don't meet a lot of nice people anymore.
Right.
And so it's nice to meet some nice people that actually do good work. And
sure.
It was cool. So
very good. All right, I'd say we're done. Why don't we do this to wrap this one up, dude? I'm going to play the theme song. You go over to Minds, start the Minds podcast, and play the Dog Pound details.
I can do that.
And then by the time the song ends, that'll be right about it at the end, and then I'll come and join you. How's that?
That sounds like, wait. Shut up, John. All right, that sounds good. I will meet you over at Minds.
All right.
John, go over there so you can see yourself talking shit.
That's right. Get over there, John.
Have a great rest of the week. We'll talk to you on Monday where we have from Grand Funk,
Mark Farner.
We'll talk to you then.
See ya.
Seth Williams loves this land, stands tall and proud. Believes in freedom, speaks his mind out loud. Mentored by Triv, he learned to be tough. Life knocked him down, but he got back up. Lost a leg, but he's still strong and true. Chasing dreams under skies of red, white, and blue. Voting for Trump, he shouts it clear. WTAM tried to bring him down, but he's still here. In the heart of America, Seth takes a stand. Against the tides, he defends our land. Liberals call him crazy, but he don't care. He's got the spirit of an eagle, soaring high in the air. Hates LeBron James, won't wear that crown. Prefers hard work and blue jeans in this town. Radio waves try to shut him up, but Seth keeps singing, filling that cup. From the small town streets to the mountain high, Seth sees the flag waving, reaching for the sky. He keeps on fighting with a rebel yell, for every fallen soldier and the stories they tell. In the heart of America, Seth takes a stand. Against the tides, he defends our land. Liberals call him crazy, but he don't care. He's got the spirit of an eagle, soaring high in the air. From the small town streets to the mountain high, Seth sees the flag waving, reaching for the sky. He keeps on fighting with a rebel yell, for every fallen soldier and the stories they tell. In the heart of America, Seth takes a stand. Against the tides, he defends our land. Liberals call him crazy, but he don't care. He's got the spirit of an eagle, soaring high in the air.